Good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRNAM for Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. And our top story today, tips for going to college as a military veteran. And joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, Andrew Bender is with the Chez Veterans Center. Andrew, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah, this is a really important topic, and so many of our veterans, Andy, come back either serving abroad or they're serving domestically. They're transitioning out of the military and they're going on to their next career. College may be one avenue that they want to explore, but there could be some challenges for our veterans going to college.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, when you look at the numbers, a vast majority of our service members are going in because of the benefits, what their service can do for them at the end of that journey is provide them an opportunity to attend higher education and to make their life better. So yeah, there's a lot of challenges. I think for us, at the University of Illinois in particular, our focus is on that transition and making that as smooth as we can. I think the areas that we see that are most challenging are where to go, what to pick. You know, if the military is great at teaching us stuff and helping us along the way, but they're not career or academic advisors. And so a lot of these students have to make those decisions on their own. They have to figure it out on their own. So I think that's one of the challenges they face right away.
Yeah, a really good point. And here I'm thinking about these soldiers, depending on what area of what branch they're in charge of millions of dollars of equipment, right? And they have all this expertise. They've been searching for mines and maybe the cyber warfare. And I would think that would translate very nicely to a career in technology or a career in some other vocation. Let's talk about that transition though, because you said there are no guidance counselors in the military, at least that I'm aware of, to kind of direct you. How do you find your way? What's the best? I know you're at the University of Illinois, but what's the best way to find your way to figuring out your next step?
Yeah, I think first and foremost is, I always recommend to anybody who's thinking about separating from service is give yourself time to think about it. Understand what that really means. The military is going to give you a 5-day transition assistance program, 5 days for the rest of your life. The military takes 5 days to train you how to drive a truck. Why only 5 days to figure out who you are and what you're going to become on this next journey? And so I think it's really important that the service members think about it, what it means. Ask questions. There's people out there who've done it. They've done it successfully. There are people out there who've done it and not done it successfully. Get some help, get some guidance, ask those questions, so you can go in prepared. I hate to say it, but there's a lot of organizations, especially in higher education, that are out there willing to take advantage of service members and the GI Bill that they bring, because they are ill prepared sometimes to make that best right decision for them. So I think asking the questions and really having a plan for separation is important.
And should you talk to putting yourself in the shoes of a veteran? Should you talk to someone maybe who has done it and done it successfully? Because they all have. I would imagine I've never not served in the military, but I've known plenty of people who have. They have peers, and we always seek out our peers. So is that a way to find the right steps? And should you start that when you're just thinking about retirement? So not when you turn in your papers to resign and transition. I would imagine you need a greater lead time to that.
Yeah, no, exactly. You absolutely do. And I think your peers are definitely a great source. I think, ideal world, you're thinking about that transition as soon as you start. It sounds kind of, maybe a little counterintuitive, but your military service will come at an end. No matter who you are, it will end at some point. So I think you have to have a plan for that. There are a lot of wonderful organizations out there to help you bridge that gap between service and whatever those next steps are. One of the ones that we're fond of working with is the Warrior Scholar Project. It's a group that brings in recently separated or enlisted service members who are about to separate and shows them what it looks like to go to college. They take them to top tier Ivy League level, and top tier public schools, and give them a taste of what it feels like and shows them, hey, you belong here, you can make it, but also educates them on the best path to take, or a path to take. So I think there's that organization is going to reach out to. There's other ones around. Service to School comes to mind, which helps prospective students figure it out. But yeah, there's a multitude of sources out there. It could be a little challenging to find them. So I think, those service members are going to have to do a little work. I think your peer network is always a great one. Your ranger buddy is never going to lead you astray. And so I think that's always a good place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't leave somebody behind. That's the old credo, right? Well, Andy, I need to take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about tips to help you transition as a military member into college. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms? Especially for the smaller businesses. I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network. Welcome back. We're joined this morning by Andrew Bender of the Chez Veterans Center. Andy, thanks so much for staying with us. Really appreciate you hanging around for segment number 2 this morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fun conversation. I'm learning a lot. I hope our audience is as well. Andy, you talked a little bit about the GI Bill. My understanding is that pays for some, if not all, of a 4-year school. That's why a lot of our service members go in, because they get this this significant benefit. One of the things that we have in the non-service member college world is student loan debt. Do military members who go back to school, even with the GI Bill, can they accrue student loan debt? Will they need to take student loans?
It really depends on their journey and where they pick to go. I always recommend do the research, what especially private institutions, who out there offers incentives to veterans. It could be in the form of credits, which helps you, reduce the time and cost spent. It can be participation in the Yellow Ribbon program, which reduces the cost of in-state tuition for some private institutions. And there's even different states, have different benefits and opportunities that'll provide a veteran the opportunity to have a reduced cost. It is definitely possible that loans are going to be in the works, but there's so many resources out there around the country, different universities, and I would say a lot of that money is left on the table because veterans service members aren't really looking for it or not getting the right guidance to it.
I know you're at a prominent institution, but what about junior college or community college? Is that an option? Because thinking back to my own journey, had I had taken 2 years and kind of gotten my associate's degree, maybe I wouldn't have, and I didn't waste time in college. But it's hard to figure out where you want to go, and maybe at 30 or 40, you still don't know. So is that an option?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the community college system is such a great way to get a head start, take care of some of those entry level courses, maybe, or at least get a plan, an idea of what you're going to do. Same goes. There's different opportunities, different resources. I definitely recommend as students look at those community college options, see what kind of pathway programs there are with follow-on institutions. Just have a good plan of what you want to do with it once you go and start taking those classes.
And does it matter? We're talking about some tips this morning. And does it matter if you're a 30-year-old coming out of the service? You may have served 5, 10 years, maybe longer, versus a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old. Different, both wanting to go back to school, both wanting to have a different career, but may have come out of the military at a different time. Do those particular population, are there differences in how you want to maybe handle yourself if you're in one of the different groups?
Yeah, I mean, from a resource perspective, definitely look at what GI Bill, what entitlements and benefits you're receiving, because that there are differences between the different generations. I think in terms of your actual transition into higher education, it's about the culture. Recognize that it's different. Universities and colleges are geared for 18-year-old traditional students right out of high school. They don't always know how to handle a non-traditional student, especially someone like a veteran who may, like you said, been around the world, have led people, have been responsible for these very big things. So it's go into understanding that you're going to be a little different, but also understand you belong. You've earned the space, and then use your strengths. Use what you've learned from your service. Use what you've learned from your life experiences to make it a better place. I won't pretend it's easy. All of our students from 25 to 35, they sometimes struggle with that integration into a predominantly younger student, disconnected from the military environment. But it's really important to understand that you're coming into a different place. Take the time to learn the languages, the rules, the norms, and then more importantly, integrate. Find a place to connect and reach out to those other veterans on campus to get that community as you build that new identity and that new way forward.
And Andy, last question: how important is we talked about the transition from the military to college? How about the transition from college to getting that job? How important are those services? A lot of universities, public, private, even junior college, have, I don't know, placement's the right word, but they have mentorship to help guide you. Should you be looking at that? What is your first job going to be out of college? Maybe very different for a 30-year-old who served versus a 45-year-old who served.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, again, it's one of those things that go in with a plan. You don't go to college or university without some idea of what you want to do next. You don't have to necessarily have it ironclad in terms of I want to be doing this at a particular company, but have a plan. Every university is going to have some kind of career services where they can help you, can assist you with internships. And I would venture to say most institutions are going to have someone who specializes in assisting veterans as well. Also take advantage of the great VA benefits out there, vocational support that the VA offers, and even a lot of local communities will have specific veteran or military related programs to assist in that area.
Yeah, really, really important. And I think that the lesson I took away is one, be open-minded, but also two, there's a lot of benefits out there if you just open your eyes a little bit, talk to your peers. Andy, we're going to have to leave it there. Great talking to you. It's a great topic. I hope so many people take advantage of the college opportunity, and we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. It was a great time. Thank you.
And that wraps up this episode of BRNAM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the latest curated news and lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, so much more, and all in one place. That's right, one place. Check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives, check out our latest content, then visit our website. We're back again tomorrow with another edition of BRNAM. We'll have a very special guest, and of course, another important topic. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes. Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the first lifestyle and wellness network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.